Dickie's Diary, 118. Good day, friends, followers, and fans. There have been some new developments in the Joker saga. It seems the whole world is watching with interest. I have to admit that I'm loving it. As a creative writer, it is always a pleasure to observe a story unfold in front of your eyes, one that needs no embellishment or exaggeration, as it is already far-fetched enough. I love it when a story virtually writes itself. As a self-confirmed lazy bugger, I'm happy to act as supervisor to the story and let it unfold naturally, in all its gory details. Like watching a dead body under the knife of the pathologist in an autopsy, words are not required, and it is so captivating that you cannot even look away. The story so far is that the Joker, having acquired a visa to enter Australia and play in the Aussie Open, was detained upon his arrival in Melbourne. His visa was cancelled. Why? Well, as the Joker was on the flight to Oz, the local media were interviewing the man and woman on the street for their expert opinions. Naturally, they were not happy that he was getting what they thought was special treatment. As soon as ScoMo, our beloved Prime Minister, saw these interviews, he flew into a blind panic and immediately phoned his immigration minister, hereafter referred to as Immy Mini Me, to get the visa cancelled at the border. "Keeping our border safe, mate." So this was purely a public relations exercise, with one eye on upcoming elections. 3 days later, the High Court, with the facts in front of them, made a legal determination that the Joker was allowed to stay and play, and costs were awarded to him, another humiliation for the government. However, the Immy Mini Me said that he might still refuse the Joker's visa, despite the law court saying it was valid. So courting public opinion is now more important than the law, integrity and honesty. What have we become, Australia? This reminds me of a similar incident that occurred in East Seacliff several years ago. Ed Sheeran was due to fly into East Seacliff International Airport in order to perform several concerts here for young people, and raising money for his favourite charity, Ginger Tops Awareness. Our beloved Mayor, Conrad Blackheart, has approved Eddie's visa in advance. However, on his way out of the town hall one evening, he overheard Mrs. Phyllis Mophead, the cleaner, talking about Mr. Sheeran, telling her colleague that Sheeran was a red-haired ugly pom. Having raised his finger in the air to test the direction of the wind of public mood, he immediately decided to cancel the visa. A quick SMS was all that was needed. "Oi, Red Menace coming! Dump it now!" As Eddie landed at ESA, he was detained by 15 Border Force Special Ops brutes, making a nice little earn of $100 an hour each for 8 hours. They held him in a small holding cell for 6 hours until he was exhausted enough to admit anything, and then he was whisked away to a medi-hotel, for the public's health, of course. I seem to remember that Hitler did the same to undesirable minorities during the Holocaust, but the less said about that the better. We don't wish to draw unfavourable comparisons, do we? A few days later, Eddie had his day in court, and the judge found in favour of Mr. Sheeran, of course. But the council appealed, with a new judge in place, and Eddie was sent packing back to Blighty. The previous judge was later found in Dead Man's Wood, hanging from a tree. His successful career and happy marriage were too much of a strain, apparently. Ciao.